today I'm going to go through HubSpot, what HubSpot CRM is, what a CRM is, give you some examples of things that it can do for your business. And then I'm going to actually show you the actual software itself. And if there's any time, it is an hour session, so I will try and get through it quite quickly. I do have the habit of rambling on in certain things that I get passionate about. So if there's a question that you have through the session, please feel free to put it in the chat. Christina's going to interrupt me at any time. So don't let something go on for too long that you're not sure of, and I'll just stop and explain it through the session. So HubSpot is a set of tools that supports each of your customer-facing teams, including marketing, sales, and service delivery. And to help you optimize, it helps you optimize each stage of your buyer's journey with you and to grow your business. Now, a CRM is a customer relationship management tool, and relationships are a big part of business. And I always choose a theme for the year. I call it the Chinese New Year of the something in my business. And for me, for 2023, for Pixeled, it's going to be the year of the relationship. Building relationships with our clients is so important. And I've been using HubSpot for over 3 years now, and it's changed how I've approached all three of these core areas of my business. It started off as I needed a marketing tool to try and scale my marketing. And then that moved, I started to get more business coming in. So I needed to then work on my sales processes. So I started using HubSpot for sales, and now we use it for support tickets and delivery of our service. So that if customers have any issues with their websites, for example, it all comes into HubSpot. So this is my team. These are the digital geniuses at Pixeled, and they're looking very glamorous here at the Business Excellence Awards recently. We have marketers, web developers, designers, and a big goal of mine has been growing this team in Geelong. And you can even use HubSpot to grow your team and sort of map some of your HR processes, whether that's taking candidates, applications, or managing your actual interview process. That can all be done in a CRM also. We recently took a trip to Boston for HubSpot's conference called Inbound, a bit of a Disneyland for digital marketers. And yeah, it was quite incredible to see the size of marketing over there. And it was a conference of 10,000 people. That's down. Apparently, normally it's 20,000 people pre-COVID. And we got to hear from some amazing speakers, and which included Viola Davis, Barack Obama, and yeah, just really motivating. Pixeled, I didn't touch on quickly, but Pixeled, we provide websites, digital marketing, and branding services. And HubSpot really has formed the backbone of how we provide our marketing services. So we really only work with HubSpot as a marketing platform. So today, I'm going to be covering the benefits of a CRM, why you should be using a CRM, and what you'll get out of it. I've chosen a couple of key points. So how to consolidate your interactions with your customers. I'll then go into personalization, which is a big sort of buzzword, but personalizing your touch points, your interactions with those customers, how you can automate some of your marketing and maybe even some other processes, not just your marketing. And then I'll give you a demo of the software at the end. HubSpot is a massive beast. It's has so many different functions and tools, and there's no way I could possibly summarize everything that it does in this session. So I am going to be quite selective in what I'll show you today and talk about today. But the number one thing that people get confused about a CRM or HubSpot in general is that it won't produce results on its own. It is a tool, and it's to support your teams and your business growth. It can automate some tasks for you and take away some of the work, but it's not going to do that by itself. You can't just buy the tool and then expect it to produce results automatically. There are some things it can't do. It can do a lot, but it can't. There's some functions that it will never replace. It can't run inventory systems. It can't really do your invoicing. It can't take your phone calls, although it can track and log and record your phone calls. There are some things that it does okay, but not well enough yet for me personally to adopt it. For example, it does proposals quite well when you're in the sales sort of stage, but it doesn't quite have the features that I want. And it does websites as well, but we build websites in a number of ways. And in some cases, we will use HubSpot to build a website. In other cases, we don't. So it's not the be all and end all. It does do a lot. If you only need one or two features of HubSpot though, the chances are you could probably find a cheaper alternative with a point solution. So a point solution is something that just has a very specific purpose, and it might go very deep. So an example of that might be, there's a tool called Calendly that allows you to sync up with your calendar and people can book times in your calendar. Now, HubSpot can do that. Would I sign up to HubSpot just for that function? No, Calendly is cheaper and probably does that function better. But the beauty of HubSpot is that it encompasses a lot of those tools all in the one place. So this is a bit of a breakdown of the HubSpot offering. Now, HubSpot was originally created in 2006 as a marketing-only platform. In its first year, it's quite a success story, really. In its first year, it reached $255,000 in sales in 2007. But in 2021, they reported $1 billion in revenue. The company is listed on the NASDAQ, and in 2021, right before the tech share dive, it was valued at nearly $40 billion. So it's really come a long way since its inception. As for the software, since 2006, they have expanded in a really smart way. So I think it's how their business progressed. They basically built the tools for their own progression, but they started off with marketing. It moved into sales, so that they realized that when you actually capture all of these leads, you then need to have a process for managing those sales. And to really accurately measure return on investment, you need that sales data, that dollar value, so that you know the dollar return on your marketing efforts. And then since then, they've moved into service, which is all about servicing your customers, operations hub, which is all about automating data in the background, and CMS hub, which is about building a website. They've really tried to create an all-in-one platform. And the thing is that disconnected tools and data, they're the things that might be holding back your team from meeting your customers where they are, and that could be costing you your business more than expected, really. So whilst point solutions, those specific tools, can sometimes offer you very specific functionality for a single department, deep functionality for like a specific channel, or the ability to quickly meet your one-off needs, it's important to think about your technology investment more holistically. And if you don't, your business may experience those hidden costs, disparate data, and lower adoption. So even just logging in and out of different tools can have a productivity cost as your team just gets their head around where things are located and what to pull in from where. So today, HubSpot takes the critical elements of customer experience management, content, messaging, automation, data, and reporting, and brings them into a single platform that's built to grow with your company. So your buyer's journey with you might have a number of potential bottlenecks and sources of friction. And friction is a word that the HubSpot community likes to talk about a lot, and reducing friction. And these things can limit your growth and present business challenges. So for example, you might be getting lots of website visitors, but very few are converting. Or your marketing team is producing lots of qualified leads, but the sales team isn't getting them and acting in time. Another type of bottleneck could simply be the need to import and export data between your systems, or even a lack of data to inform decision-making. Anything that slows down a business from growing, basically. HubSpot is designed to diagnose and eliminate many of these bottlenecks through a unified CRM, contact, company, deal, and ticket database with seamless data sharing between all of these tools. So what is the buyer's journey that I've mentioned a couple of times now? The buyer's journey represented here is the path that your buyers take from being a total stranger on the left-hand side that knows absolutely nothing about your business, then entering into your marketing process, your sales funnel, hopefully becoming a customer, and then hopefully a vocal advocate of your product or service, which we call promoters. Customer journeys are increasingly complex, and technology can help or hinder your ability to deliver a remarkably connected customer experience. When tech systems are cobbled together, they lead to silos between teams, making it harder to align. So I don't know if you've ever worked in a business where the sales team might over deliver or talk about things that by the time it gets to the service delivery team, they have no idea what was offered or promised to the customer. And that causes that sort of separate teams and friction between teams and then ultimately the customer suffers from that lack of alignment. A clunky user experience can make it harder for your teams to adopt, and an inflexible technology stack can make it harder to adapt to things or changes in your business as well. So one of the greatest concepts that HubSpot have created is this concept of the flywheel. So the days of passing through the funnel, marketing funnels, and coming out as a customer and people just saying, my job's done now, or the marketing team saying my job is done, that's now over. Now we know that the buyer's journey is complex, winding path, and the goal is to turn prospects into brand advocates. So in the flywheel business model, customers are at the center, and happy customers generate business momentum. And using this methodology, companies can attract, engage, and delight their audiences and establish a community of promoters who fuel the flywheel and ultimately business growth. So if you look at this, this engage, delight, we're basically wanting to attract strangers, engage with them, turn them into prospects and hopefully customers, and then delight those customers to turn them into promoters, bringing in more strangers, more prospects, because those promoters are doing some of your marketing work for you. I think it's a great business model, and it's certainly how I've built Pixel and how we work with our own clients. So today, customers expect a seamless and personalized experience and are quick to jump ship if they don't feel valued by you. Having to repeat yourself to different teams is frustrating. Being offered generic solutions is pretty blah, and being heard is probably the most important thing. So having a system where your business can make your customers feel heard and valued is super important. HubSpot offers a better solution that is crafted and not just cobbled together. The software is cohesive, customizable, connected, and easy to adopt. With a single source of truth, your teams can form deeper relationships with customers throughout their journey. And when the customer is at the center of every business decision, company-wide alignment is a whole lot easier. So I'm going to show you, I did show you the slide earlier, which had the different components of HubSpot. I'm only going to show you a couple today, again, because there's just so much to get through. But basically the CRM is at the center of all of these functions. So that's where all the data is stored. It's one single source of truth where all of your marketing, sales, and service information sits, and it is accessible to all departments. It's not just a sales tool. The CRM is free and enabled with each hub. So it has your contacts, obviously, so information about all the different users, the companies that these contacts belong to. You also have, you can have deals, so that's not here on this diagram, but you also have all the sales information, collecting information via forms, and all of the activity and things in between. So sending documents between contacts, that's all stored. Who received what, when they received it, what activity they had. So, you know, any contact, any website visits, all of that information is stored. In the Marketing Hub, which is the first or the only hub that I'm going to talk about today, HubSpot Marketing Hub is going to help you get found online, convert and nurture leads, and help you measure your return on investment. So there's a bunch of tools that basically bring in contacts, provide that inbound flow of contacts into your CRM. And that could be done via creating blogs. There's a blogging tool, which makes it very easy to publish blogs on the platform. There's a social media tool that allows you to schedule all of your social media posts across various social media channels. There are some SEO tools to create a focus for your content production. You can manage your paid ads via HubSpot as well, which is a little bit different to managing it directly in the platforms themselves, because you can actually see the contacts that are generated from your ads and then hopefully measure a return on investment for those ads if you're tracking your sales data as well. You can send out emails, whether that's personalized individual emails or automated emails, or even just marketing newsletter style emails. There are live chat tools so that people can engage with you. One of the most popular contact channels these days is live chat. Customers' expectations are pretty short these days. They want fast responses. So live chat is a popular tool. If you're unable to facilitate live chat, conversational bots are an interesting tool that we use on Pixel, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on. But having a chat bot where people can talk to and answer sort of standardized questions is quite cool. One of the biggest pulls of HubSpot is automation. So being able to automate your marketing and other functions within your business. And lastly, reporting, being able to demonstrate the results of what all of this marketing effort and investment into technology is giving you. So HubSpot's contact record, this is a very simplified illustration of that, but HubSpot's contact record gives companies a unified view of the customer across teams. That means marketing, sales, and service, and content management and operations. All of these teams can work off the same shared view of the customer. We can then speed up team efficiency by combining efforts into one intuitive experience. One contact record gives you the insights you need to better market, sell, or serve your customers. We can also customize on a company level what that contact card looks like. So, and even if need be on an individual level, so you can see the information that's most important to you and your role to make your job more efficient. So the first major point that I'm going to talk about is consolidating your interactions with a conversations inbox. So one of the first things you'll set up when you install HubSpot is a conversation inbox. And think of it like an email inbox, but just a lot more powerful. When we work with a new client at Pixel, our goal is to build an infrastructure for the business on HubSpot designed to support all of the customer-facing teams within the company with a common set of tools so they can coordinate their efforts and work from a shared source of truth. That's the biggest point here, shared source of truth. This enables a seamless buying experience for your customers as well. So the way you communicate with prospects and customers, it should be fluid. Buyers expect to kick off a conversation over live chat, but then maybe follow up with email and then talk through details over the phone, all without skipping a beat. The reality is, though, that most businesses have siloed tools and siloed teams, which lead to siloed conversations and poor customer experiences. Until now, HubSpot Conversations, HubSpot's shared inbox includes free tools for live chat, Facebook Messenger, chatbots, and team email, plus a universal inbox that gives sales, marketing, and customer service teams one place that they can view, manage, and reply to all of these conversations, regardless of the messaging channel they came from. So wouldn't it be great if a customer inquired on Facebook Messenger about a product? They maybe hit your first line, your level one, whatever that is that's answering those initial questions, but then they could be redirected to an expert or someone who's managing that account or that particular product directly in the one platform, giving the customer the answer they need quicker. That's the idea of a consolidated inbox. So here's an example. I will show you a live version shortly, but basically it looks a lot like Outlook, I think. And yeah, all of these channels, like you can have email, your live chat, and your social media, all funneling in. This is just a very basic example, but it will show you when these things occurred, how they came into the inbox, and allow other people in your team to see not only their conversations, but your other teammates' conversations in the one place. So the benefits of this inbox, you can generate leads directly from those messaging channels. So you don't want to miss out on opportunities that might seem like insignificant conversations, but you want to ensure that they can be followed up. You might need to qualify those as leads first by asking the right questions. And I'll get into that, how we can do that as well a bit later. You can connect the right contacts with the right people, what I was saying before about getting it to the right person so they can be answered properly. Following up is flawless. It's very easy to do. It's all in the one place. That in turn builds a better customer experience, and your teams can look up and get the full picture of every contact before they respond, not doubling up on the same questions all the time, answering with the wrong solutions, those kind of things. And something I will touch on is scaling those conversations with chatbots. It's not, sometimes depending on the business, it's not possible to answer live. Maybe the availability of resources, or maybe just the scale of the number of conversations coming in, but we can replace some of that with chatbots. This is a chatbot on the Pixel website, you can lighten the load, I guess, and make it easier for your team to have those personalized conversations at scale. You can use HubSpot's chatbot builder to easily create bots that, and I've called mine the Pixel bot, very unique, I know. But that will help you qualify your leads, book meetings, provide answers to common customer support questions, and more. So your team can focus on the conversations that matter most. So some of the questions I ask is, are you looking for pricing information? Are you looking for support? Do you want to speak to somebody live? And so those things just funnel down, and it's helpful to the customer, but I'm only having to speak to people if I really need to. Otherwise, I'm just being helpful instantly with this chatbot. There are some canned bot templates that you can use when you get started. And there's like a visual editor, which I'll show you, that you can customize that conversation flow, and you can make it, match your brand's voice and tone. You don't have to be sterile. You can make it fun and a bit exciting, and use language that's a bit more casual to make it feel, I guess, more personalized. Because it's integrated with the CRM, of course, they can deliver a friendlier, more personalized message based on the information you already know about a contact. So you can say, hey, Nathan, how's your morning today? Or if you know that they're a customer, you might not ask them, do you want to know the pricing? You can just jump into, hey, do you need any help with your current website? So just giving that little bit of extra personalization can make that tool seem so much more valuable to your contacts. The next step, that personalization. So we know that a personalized experience by its very nature is in some way different from the status quo. You're not just getting what everyone else is getting with personalization. Instead, you're getting something that's tailored to you. And because of that, it makes you feel more in control. But even if this sense of control is an illusion, it's still very powerful and can have a positive effect on your psyche. With personalization, you aren't presented with thousands of resources to sort through and consume. Instead, you are presented with exactly the information you are looking for. Hence, you never feel overloaded with information. And that's another big sort of push, or you'll hear it a lot when you start looking at all the HubSpot content, is presenting customers with the right piece of content at the right time. It's a critical part of that customer experience. So personalization has become even more in demand, I suppose, of businesses, customers, consumers, that they're wanting this personalization. You can see here this Twilio report that 62% of consumers say a brand will lose their loyalty if they deliver an unpersonalized experience. That's increased 20% in 2021. Another one, a McKinsey & Company report showed that 75% of consumers tried a new shopping behavior during the pandemic. And consumers are seeking more valuable experiences from brands they engage with. And the same study revealed that over 70% of consumers now expect personalization and are frustrated when they don't find it, making personalization a must-have for today's brands. So I'll give you a couple of examples. So Netflix is probably one of the most common ones that everyone would probably know. Everyone's Netflix account looks different when you log in. And that's because the streaming service has made it a priority to personalize the user experience as they navigate the platform. The first display when you log into Netflix is that large banner ad that usually displays what's you're most interested in, like a trailer for a newly added show or movie. The difference is the selection of that is different for everybody. So for me, that might be the newly released Harry and Meghan special because I care so much about the royals. For another person, it might be something else. So through AI and machine learning, Netflix's algorithm is programmed to suggest shows and movies based on a user's watching history, including their watch time and how they interact with those things. With HubSpot, you can achieve a similar or the same thing with the data you are collecting. So how many times have they been to your website? What pages did they look at? What things did they download or fill out? With documents that you can send them, you can actually track how long they spent on individual pages within those documents. And then you can use that data to provide a personalized experience of your own. If you run an e-commerce store, Amazon is a great model to get inspiration from. So they've created an interface that offers relevant recommendations based on the browsing and purchasing history. So when you first land on the homepage, the sections and the categories displayed are personalized to you. Every single one of these selections is personalized to the user based on their previous behavior on the site. So in addition to that, though, they will occasionally they'll survey users as well. So that's another HubSpot tool, by the way, surveying, part of the service hub. You can collect more data. So for instance, shortly after purchasing a product for a dog, you might be asked on Amazon, do you own a dog or a cat? And then it will say that this data is actually being collected so that they can provide a more personalized experience or more personalized recommendations to you. But a key takeaway here is to fill in the gaps in your data by reaching out to your users. So you can do that with surveys. You can do that with forms that you're on your website, with the fields that you're asking. It can be just tracking data that you've got on their activity on your website, or just straight out asking your customers in real conversations. We still do have real conversations sometimes with customers. You can ask for that information and then add it to your contacts. And the more information, the more data you have on each of your contacts, the more valuable your CRM becomes to you in your efforts. Okay, my slides are deciding to freeze up on me. Here we go. Okay, so top personalization examples. So these are easy wins that you can do. Putting your name, the names of your contacts in your subject lines in your emails. You obviously can put it in the email itself, but you can get a percentage increase of your open rates if you put the personalization in the subject line. Welcome back messages on the websites is another popular one, feeling like, oh, okay, they remember me, I'm special kind of thing. Cart abandonment notifications, CTAs, call to actions based on the buying cycle. So if you're going to send out an email to one of our clients as a gluten-free bakery, if you know that they order every month, or that 2 loaves of bread usually only has a shelf life of a month, you should send an email saying, would you like to buy that again? Product recommendations we just talked about based on the previous history, and customer loyalty programs. There's some data out there, but the top 5 personalization actions that consumers want generally are an easier online or in-store navigation, personalized product or service recommendations, tailored messages, relevant promotions, and an interesting one, personal milestone celebrations. Still in demand, still nice to feel special on your birthday. So if you can collect birthdays or even anniversaries of becoming a customer, can be a nice way to celebrate your customers. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about automation, one of the biggest benefits of a CRM. Marketing automation in HubSpot, it basically allows you to break through the noise with compelling marketing campaigns that are powered by real-time customer data. If we don't personalize our automation with data, what's the point really? It becomes generic, annoying, and will basically be ignored by everyone else. So it's about harnessing that data that we've collected and then automating it. Consumers are inundated with marketing messages across channels and touch points, and HubSpot's marketing automation software helps marketers break through that noise with compelling campaigns that allow you to reach customers where they are with what they want. So when you hear the words marketing automation, you might think of the Transformers movie. It makes me think of the Autobots doing all of our marketing behind the scenes, which would be pretty cool. But today we're not going to be talking about Cybertron. We're focusing on how marketing automation can benefit your business. So basic marketing automation is the process of making systems or processes occur automatically within a software. Essentially, marketing automation can help streamline your marketing efforts and make your department more efficient. It's not going to do all of the work for you. It might only be that it's prompting your team to take action, or it could just be cleaning up data, making things more efficient. So don't think of it as a hands-off, I don't have to work anymore because I've got marketing automation. It's more about becoming more efficient. Some of the key benefits, I talked about efficiency, that marketing and sales alignment, I think is super critical that sales and marketing teams work together so that customer experience is smooth. Once you have a process in place for your marketing automation, you can then optimize that and increase your conversion rate. When you have the data and the process mapped out, you can really identify where are the gaps, where are the points where it's failing or not as strong as it could be, and increase that conversion rate. Personalization, of course. Lead scoring is an interesting one. We can basically apply points to contacts based on their activity. So if they've been to my website, you might give them a point. If they've filled out a form, you might give them another point. If they have signed up to join an event like a masterclass, give them 10 points. If they've answered my email, give them another 10 points. And then you could basically build a list of the most engaged contacts so that your sales teams can focus on the people that are most engaged with your business and more likely to become customers. This makes these... Christina, you're going to say something?
Sorry, I was just going to say, we've got a question that's just come in.
Yeah.
Someone just asked, is HubSpot complicated to learn and to use?
I don't think so. It's probably the most simple interface that I have seen. I've tried many CRMs over the journey, and I find it the most simple, and they have very good support. They have very, very good documentation. So it's all the information is there to be found. And sales pitch, if you do struggle, you can always come to a marketing agency like Pixel to get that support. But I think in terms of using it, it's easy. Where an agency like mine comes in is really to set up systems. So setting up some of this automation, for example, with recipes, if you like, that we know work. But in terms of businesses being able to use the tools, I think it's pretty easy. Yeah. And lastly, one of the other benefits is lead nurturing. So it's pretty hard to scale a business if you're having to try and nurture all of the leads that come in your door. It also can be very disheartening if you're not a thick-skinned salesperson. And so this was me. I don't take rejection well. And if I had to try and call every single lead that inquires on my website about the pricing, for example, I'd be pretty down, because there's a lot of people that are just fishing around for pricing, other agencies, people that don't really have a budget, people that are dreaming of starting a business and building a website. And I don't need to call all of those people. So my lead nurturing process does that automatically for me with a sequence of emails. And then only if that lead takes a certain set of actions that I've defined, will I pick up the phone and give them a call. So very helpful for that. So yeah, one of the first automations we would typically build for a client it's called an email drip campaign. And these automate your email campaigns and move prospects further through your buyer's journey. Excuse me. Hopefully generating more qualified leads. With HubSpot, it's pretty easy to build beautiful emails with no coding. And then you can choose from dozens of triggers and conditions and actions to send the right emails to the right leads at the right time. You can easily gauge which campaigns work by tying each workflow to a clear goal. And your goal could be for your leads to book a meeting with you, for example, which is one of mine, to make a purchase, or simply just to come back to your website. So a common example that we do is most websites have an inquiry form, but that's only going to capture people that are ready to inquire, ready to buy. They're really looking for that price. But one of the first things we do for marketing clients is create some sort of content offer. That might be a guide, a capability statement, a checklist, something like that. Someone will fill out their details to get that, but then we might send them a sequence of emails over the next 2 or 3 weeks with more information, with the idea of being more helpful and getting them more engaged with the business, and perhaps taking that next step of making an inquiry, booking a meeting, buying something. But it's just adding those steps and building out that funnel prior to the final kind of decision stage. You can create pretty sophisticated workflows in HubSpot. As you can see, look, there are a bunch of options here, I know, but in terms of designing these workflows, this is the best tool that I've seen by far. It looks clean. You can really understand the flow. It seems logical. I've used things like ActiveCampaign, Zoho. They are an absolute mess to try and build out complex workflows. But yeah, with this, you can give every content in your database the attention they deserve, really. So the visual editor makes it easy to envisage workflows in real time. So whether you're building simple follow-up campaigns or complex multi-stage journeys. You can also use advanced segmentation logic to determine exactly who gets enrolled in your workflows and when. And then you can personalize your emails for each recipient using those specific details that you've already collected in your CRM. And at the bottom of this one, you can see one of the beginnings of an if-then branch. So you can start doing things like if the customer has done certain things, for example, if they've viewed this page, you can do this. And if they haven't, you can do this. So you can really tailor that messaging, and you could go further with, you know, if they are a customer or not. Yeah, if they've answered a question about they have a dog or a cat, send them this email. If they've said fish, send them this email, and really branch it out from there. You can also put time back in your day. I don't know if Les is watching, by automating simple tasks. So you can use workflows to set up things like I was talking about before about scoring leads, rotating those leads to salespeople. Maybe if inquiries are not being answered quickly, you could rotate that to the next salesperson. And you can easily manage your data in bulk by updating contact information, copying values, a whole lot of other things. You can trigger internal notifications for your team when a contact takes a noteworthy action, and then ensure timely follow-ups with automated task reminders within your CRM. I won't touch on this today, but there's a kind of cool task to-do list kind of function of HubSpot. And if you use it as your day-to-day, it can be really, really powerful combined with the automation. I personally get a notification if I have someone that I'm as a prospect of mine. So I've talked to them about a website or marketing campaign. So I've put them in as a deal in HubSpot. If they come back to certain pages on my website, I get notified so that I can then jump on the phone as quickly as possible because I want to strike while the iron's hot kind of thing. And so that just makes my sales process a lot more efficient. Okay, so I've done pretty well for time. I will now jump under the hood, so to speak. So I'll
Just one more thing. Someone's just asked, sorry to interrupt, how much does HubSpot cost?
So it varies. So you can get started for free. The CRM is free and a lot of the tools are free. There are a few little limitations, obviously, when it's free. The marketing tools, a lot of them have the HubSpot logo when it's free. So when you send out an email, when you have a live chat on your website, it all says powered by HubSpot. You also are limited, whilst it will collect all of the data in the background forever, you are limited to only seeing the last 7 days of activity for free. So if I was looking at contact information, what websites they've visited, I would only be able to see the last 7 days. As soon as you pay for a subscription, it unlocks all of that previously collected data. Now the starter plan, they're quite smart. They're quite smart with their pricing model. The starter, the entry level is very affordable. It's very easy to get going. And the marketing starter hub is, I think, $75 a month. And it gives you access to a lot of tools. A lot of small businesses get a lot out of that. Email functionality, all of those forms, chatbots, and even simple workflows are available in that plan. Then if you need to jump up to professional level, it does jump dramatically. And the idea is that professional is aimed at businesses that are doing or already have grown a bit and are looking to scale their marketing. And that gives you access to full or more complicated marketing automation. So extra things like social media scheduling, that jumps up dramatically. So from $75 to around $1,200 a month. So it is quite the jump. But the idea is that businesses that need that kind of automation can justify that investment. There is also a thing called bundles, and then they're experimenting. I was told the other day they are experimenting with pricing for different people in different areas. So if you're on the pricing page, which is hubspot.com/pricing, have a look at the bundles tab. So they sell all of the hubs individually, marketing, sales, service, but there's also a bundles, which gives you all of the hubs for one price. and it's often cheaper than one hub on its own. I don't know why. They obviously just sort of hide it. They don't want it to be front and center, but you can buy all of the hubs. And I saw something ridiculous the other day. I think it was $35 for the first year, $35 a month for the starter plan on all of the 5 hubs. So yeah, check out the bundles tab before you go buying anything. Just remember though, that at the end of that 12 months, you might need to cancel some of those hubs that you're not actually using.
And just another question, are the workflows a part of the free CRM?
No, they are not. So you're not going to get any workflows for free. And you'll get simple workflows in the starter plan, so the affordable plan. Simple workflows really are to send an email and then delay, and then send another email and then delay, and you can build out those. But if you need more complicated workflows with like if-then branches, or to do other kind of data tasks, or there's all sorts of things it can do, to be honest, that's going to require the professional plan, that more expensive plan. Yeah, hope that answers. But a lot of businesses, honestly, like most of our clients get a lot of value out of simple workflows. Just capturing leads and having a sequence of emails that goes out to that customer, that provides enormous value for that $75 plan. That's really, yeah, it makes it hard actually for us to sell that professional plan when the starter plan does so much, does quite a lot of the lifting. Okay, so I might jump in and actually show you some of the software. Let me just kick these Zoom screens out of my way. So this is the contacts. This is in my, apologies, I might have to hide the phone numbers, but anyway, but there's all of the contacts in my account. I can customize all of these columns. I can also filter them by, all the different data that I've collected about them, whether they're customers or not, if they've filled out answers to my questions and forms. And yeah, really powerful way of bringing up and segmenting your contacts in your database. I'm going to use you as an example, Christina. I hope this doesn't embarrass you.
No, that's fine.
I did hide your phone number, so no one's going to know your mobile number. So basically, this is the information that I've collected on Christina. So on the left-hand side, you can see all of the property, they call that properties, information about Christina. In the center, this is like a Facebook feed, all of the activity that Christina has had with Pixeled. And on the right-hand side are all of the related objects. So the company that she belongs to, any deals that we might have had, any support tickets, any files that I've ever sent her, and then there's a few other little bits and bobs, but they're the most important. In the center, though, the activity feed, that's the interesting part. So by default, it's showing me everything, but I can choose to just show any meetings that were booked using my meeting booking tool that I talked about earlier. So these are all the meetings that Christina's booked with me over the journey and with other team members of Pixeled, quite a few. Or I could show any email conversations. So you can choose what's the most important thing. Form submissions is obviously another good one. And website activity, page views. So I can see what pages. So this might embarrass you, Christina. On the bottom left-hand side, I can see how many times Christina's been to my website. 109 times. You must really like Pixel, Christina. And she's viewed 152 pages. So I use that as a pretty core part of identifying how engaged the customer is. If a new lead who's new to contacting Pixel, say they've downloaded a brochure, and maybe they've been to the website, I'll say more than 3 times, I'm pretty keen to talk to that person because I know they're interested. I just noticed that am I sharing the right thing, Christina?
Yes.
I don't have the ring around my screen.
On your website 109 times though. Yes, definitely.
I don't know, but yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I know what it is. Copying the Pixeled URL a lot to put into put into EDMs and newsletters and stuff.
You don't need to be shy. I know you're a fan.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Okay, so next, companies, very similar to contacts, right? So it's the same view. It's a list of all of the companies. Again, we can collect data about the company, not just the contacts, the individuals, but yeah, about the business, size of the business, location, industries, all of those things. Again, create filters. And then I'll open up the salary packaging people, one of my clients, and you can have basically an activity feed again of all of the things that happen with the contacts within that company. On the right-hand side, I can see all of the contacts, all of the staff that we've interacted with from the salary packaging people, and any deals that live there. So yeah, very similar to contacts. The conversation inbox. So this is where I was talking about earlier about bringing all of those inbound channels, those contact channels into the one place. So I can see that there was a conversation with my bot, with Elliot, a while ago now, a couple of years ago now, but all of that information is there and I could respond directly to Elliot if I wanted to. I could provide a comment internally for the rest of my team to see. But yeah, think of this as kind of like a combined, all-in-one shared Microsoft Outlook for your business. The next thing I wanted to show you was chat flows. So this is that chatbot, that pixel chatbot at the start. So the first thing it asks is, how can I help you? So I present this question, what would you like to do? Would you like to book a meeting, get pricing, get support, speak to a person, or just browse this website? So depending on what they answer, if get pricing is probably the number one question that an absolutely cold lead wants to know. And if they answer get pricing, it says, okay, we've got a couple of brochures. Which would you be interested in? Websites or digital marketing? So if they click on websites, cool, here's the answer. You can find out more about it here. And so there's a link there and people go to that. Now, all that's doing is making it easier for people to browse the website. They could have gone to the navigation, gone to websites, gone to the packages page, found the form to download it. But having that chatbot allows that question to be answered that little bit easier. Not everybody likes chatbots, but it's just providing another channel, and you can provide more options. You're going to have more leads at the end of the day.
One more question. What package is the chatbot in?
So there are simple chatbot, that's a tongue twister, simple chatbot workflows in the starter package. And if you need more complex workflows, which is more about the if then, so questions like, do you want pricing, this question here, that's in the professional plan. But you could do a simple flow, which is just asking the user for their information and spitting out some next steps, for example, or directing to like a live chat, for example. So yeah, they kind of, there's all these little gotchas that the starter tools are so good, but then that one little feature that you need sometimes does kick it up a notch. You do need that extra plan. One thing I will say is that if you are looking to go to that professional level, if you do contact an agency like Pixel first, an agency, because we're a HubSpot agency partner with HubSpot, we can negotiate pricing, and there are ways that I know to kind of twist their arm to get a better deal on that professional pricing. I've seen some pretty hefty discounts, but it does depend on the number of tools that you're looking to purchase, the commitment term, how you're going to pay, all of these things, and even the time of the month. I shouldn't say this, but if you try to sign up to HubSpot Professional later in the month, you've got a better chance of doing a deal. Their sales reps work on a monthly basis. There's a little tip. So ad management, you can basically funnel all of your Google ads, Facebook ads through here, and then it can spit out, we haven't invested an awful lot in ads this year, but it can spit out the number of contacts, the number of deals, what your return on investment is. That gives you that much better picture. A lot of the times, unless you're in e-commerce generally, you've got that data filtering through to Facebook ads or Google ads. But for service businesses, B2B, accountants, lawyers, they generally don't have that final dollar value in the advertising platform. So having this, where you're tracking your customers in the CRM, the value of those deals or those customers is in there, you can get an accurate return on investment. That might take time, it might take months, if not years sometimes, for those contacts to turn into companies, but we can really calculate that now because we have all of that data in the one place. Social media is another tool that we use. So you can schedule all of your posts in a nice calendar view. It does the major platforms, and nice and easy to basically create a post and then sort of duplicate it and customize for each of the other. So I generally start by creating a Facebook post and then copy it to Instagram and LinkedIn and sort of tailor with the hashtags and whatnot to suit those platforms. That's cool. There are other social media scheduling tools that do as good, if not better jobs, but this brings it all into the one place. The links that are in your posts are trackable. And then I can then measure the number of new contacts that are generated in the CRM because of certain social media posts. I can link them all into a campaign. So I could do a website campaign, and all of my posts about websites belong to that campaign, and then track the success, the number of contacts, and that amount of business that social media campaign brought in. That's something that some of the other social media platforms cannot do. They cannot track that return on investment down to a dollar value. Forms, just a very quick and easy view of this is my website brochure download. So if you're on my website and you wanted to download more information about the pricing, this is the form that I use. So very easy for anyone to build these forms, I think. Click and drag them into the form on the right. So it can take any properties from the CRM, whether that's the standard ones or you can even create your own custom ones. An interesting benefit, and I think this is a professional feature, unfortunately, but progressive fields. If I've already asked somebody a question and I know the answer to it, I've got the tracking code, so I know the answer to it. There's no point in asking that question over and over again. So they might be downloading multiple things from my website, and there's no point in asking them for their company name over and over and over again. So progressive fields will replace those fields with new fields every time. So maybe they download the marketing brochure next. I don't need to ask them for the company name again. I'll now ask them for what state they belong to or what industry they belong to. Again, filling the gaps on the data and building that CRM out to have more value so I can then personalize the experience even more. It's kind of seamless. You don't want to ask 100 questions for a brochure download. So I keep it to 5, but every time they fill out another form, I'm asking different questions, building that picture up. Really handy feature. This is an automation, very simple automation after somebody downloads the brochure. It's complicated, but this is a secondary automation for me. But basically, once this is triggered, they get sent this email, which has information about some websites that we've built. And my goal for these automations is for them to book a meeting to discuss their website. I wait a few days, and then you can see there's 2 contacts in there at the moment, waiting in that waiting phase. And then I send them another email. And each one is basically trying to be helpful, providing more information, links to blogs about building a new website, offering information about how we build websites, ultimately trying to convince them to book a meeting with me. Another automation, which is more service delivery based, is when we launch a website. We want to give people information about the launch of their website, how to use their website, what they can expect from our service delivery. So we fire off this automation once the website goes live, and they get a whole bunch of information. This one goes out to 90 days, I believe, 90 days, where they're basically just reminded of all the support services we offer, how to get in touch with us if something goes wrong, and then asking for that Google review as well. So we've automated all of that. Lastly, when we get into reporting, it's nice to obviously see the benefits of our work. So there's a nice, one of my favorite charts or graphs is this sessions by source. It shows you how users are coming into your website via what channels. And you can see we've got a lot of direct and organic traffic coming into the Pixel website. You can then get all the typical kind of high level metrics, and you can even break down, not in this report, but contacts and you know, how people are progressing. I think I might have shown you in the Service Hub. So we do all of our support ticketing through HubSpot as well. And so anyone who has a problem or an issue with their website, or they just need help to update their website, it gets logged into a system. They can fill out a form on our website, or they can email our support address. It gets funneled into a system. there's an automation to send them confirmation of that request, and then a support team member will then respond to that, and we can track data like the number of tickets that are in the system at any one time, the status of those tickets, and the time to respond. This is a good one to see for me to crack the whip on the team. So 3.1 hours is our average response time. That's pretty good considering that we're only business hours. So we're getting to those support queries pretty quickly. Lastly, it is a Sales Hub tool. And I know I didn't talk about Sales Hub at all, but the reason I'm going to this is to post my my meeting link in the chat. So I am going to post this for anybody in the Zoom chat. And you'll get to see how the meeting booking tool works in HubSpot. But if you do want to book a meeting with me and talk about how HubSpot could work for your business, I'm quite happy to also get anybody started for free. So if you want to sign up for HubSpot for free and you just need some help to get that tracking code on your website, I'll do that for anybody today for free. It's very easy. You just need to drop a little bit of code on your website. And I think it's cool just to start tracking the data, start collecting that data now, even if you're not quite ready. Obviously, it's Christmas. You might not be ready to start working on a CRM. But if you can start tracking that data now, start collecting information, next year, when you look into HubSpot, you'll see hopefully some pretty interesting insights. So yeah, that's it from me. I've hit the 1 hour time slot. So thank you very much for your time and listen to me rant about HubSpot.
Perfect. Thanks, Nathan. Thank you. That was a really great session. Thank you for walking us through HubSpot, through the CRM.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye.